It's the IMO pod with 3 young kings, Sukali, DT and Uzi on this. In my opinion, we're the pod of the year. We mix the banter with the edutainment. Sukali, you know, be the girl them sugar. Don't talk DT, designate driver. Tumichi Susa, Uzi takes it too far. You never know how far you can go if you don't try. We and them boys, we're not cohesive. Money.
That's I'll be honest with you. I know of, like, not directly in my bloodline, but I know of that, what you just said there.
Yeah.
See,
like,
there you go.
Like third and fourth cousin, like you
See,
think.
there you go.
Wow, yeah. Like when I hear the conversation, I don't say it out then. I don't address it then. I'm thinking when I get home, hold on, when I wake up, like
it's a bit mad.
That's the same bloodline. Like no wonder why you got 6 toes.
Do you know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like, so to prevent stuff like that, because it probably used to happen. And the elders
I'm
said,
sure it used to be.
The elders said, no, we need to stop this thing. So I don't know if you have a. Do you?
No, all free. It's free for all.
The over talking. I mean, the over talking on the phone and all that.
Yeah, man.
And cousins.
To be honest, I think for me, I kind of like lost. I don't talk to my cousins and that like that, you know.
My mum's is too hard, man. Uzi's a hard guy.
It's not a hard thing. I just feel like there's not been no.
It's old school. Them man don't deal with phones.
Put in place for that, innit? You know what I'm saying? You know, when you grow up, you grow up in a family where like it's just everyone just beefing each other.
That man stand on code.
This one's upset with this one, that one's upset with that one. You know, like you get taught to like stay away. Do you understand? So that's what a lot of us have probably grown up seeing, innit? Like I don't really get involved with my cousins and that.
So what, in a way, what you're saying is that compared to these two boys, is that your family's missing that glue, that one person.
It's not missing per se. It's just because like there's not been. All right, I tell you the biggest problem, when it comes to like family issues, poverty. Yeah,
that's the biggest.
No.
No facts. I'm listening.
The reason why I'm going
agreeing.
here is there's not like this thing of like, okay, cool, we're all doing all right. Do you know what I'm saying to you? So if one person makes like a slight inch, like say I go from like maybe just a normal worker to like supervisor, something like it's not really a big deal.
Yeah.
Like the other family members are not really happy. Do you know what I'm saying to you? So because of that, it's like they now start looking at you differently. And then they think like, yeah, you're doing better than them. You should be helping us. And all these times we're all struggling. Do you know what I'm saying? And because of that, it causes a mad chaos. Like it kind of divides everybody. So sometimes it's like, I better stay away because if I get too close, I might get killed. Do you understand?
Like, no, it gets
mad.
That, yeah.
So it's like, the best way is just like,
don't talk
let
to
me
your
just
cousin.
stay away.
So it will be a
You know what I'm
situation
saying?
that's
Like,
happened with his mum and so their family,
her
right?
sister or
And then
somebody,
now,
everybody's
out of the
involved.
fear of that, so the mum now is going to talk them against dealing with their cousins and all of that. She's going to kind of
That
sever
stuff,
that
like,
tie.
direct
It's
away
crazy.
from
And
that.
you know what's so
Exactly,
mad? I couldn't, apart obviously from my dad's side, like my dad's like sister, I probably know those cousins. But when you're talking like my mum's side, I couldn't tell you my mum's sister's son's name.
Crazy.
So you've had
All of them, and she's 8, the first of 8 as well. I can't tell you none of them.
I'm sure you've heard of those stuff of when you go to that auntie's house, don't eat their food. It's kind of
You had that?
No, you know
what?
what?
You've never heard of that?
No, to be honest, I said that from hearing like all of your perspectives, the way I see it is that from what I know of that culture, it seems like Angolan culture is a little bit different.
Yeah,
You know
you're
what I mean?
right.
Like, I've never been into any one of the Tia's households and been told, no, like you don't eat here. Do you know what I mean?
Even me, I haven't been told, but it's a weird.
I've never heard of that.
You know what it is? This is the same thing that goes back to
Mainland Nigerian,
the
Ghanaian,
population.
like the West,
I was
West
gonna say,
African
like,
sides.
you lot are more like like it's calm. It's not as bad as Nigerians.
Like the
Nigerians
West
is that,
African
bro,
side.
it's a madness, bro. I'll tell you that.
to be
But I
honest,
think
like,
it's because of the population, a lot of poverty. It's
the
a
Wild Wild West
mass.
out there.
So you can imagine what's happening there. Do you know what I'm saying?
hear it.
So yeah, it's very crazy. But I feel like I'm talking too much now.
No.
No,
It's okay.
I honestly appreciate the perspectives though, because like that's teaching me like every day is it's a lesson. So
Even till today, I still got that issue, bro. I can't just go anywhere and eat.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
It's
I
like
have
literally
to
been
get-
ingrained in us.
It's still
Yeah.
an issue till this day.
Me, I overeat
I
anyway.
have to get,
It's okay.
I have to know, I have
long
to
as
get
there's no
comfortable
pork.
with you and know you properly before I can even
Facts.
eat something from someone's house.
See, I'll flip it as well,
It's
but I'll flip it as well. I'll
It's
say this.
mad.
So we get invited even if it's not for dinner, just to come over to
Yeah,
my
yeah.
sister's house, to my mum's house, any one of the family's house. Yeah, there's no guarantee that we're gonna get fed there. On the other foot now, I'm leaving the house and I don't want no more to eat. Please stop. Like,
Yeah,
boys,
yeah.
if you saw me when I first made that silly comment about that book,
Yeah.
till now, the other day I was at my sister-in-law's wedding. He said, "Look at you now, Ryan.
Yeah.
You're proper bulked up." Do you know what I mean? I said, "Listen, that's one of the things that I said. I'm a foodie, so as my wife, yeah. There's one thing that I would definitely say is that there's been a lot of hits. There's been a few misses with certain dishes, and I'll go into it. But boys, the cuisine, and obviously all the food, boys,
Brother.
it's
It's
completely
proper.
different.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I
As
just want to
said.
ask you actually. Do before you met her, were you seasoning your chicken?
Yeah, of course. Only a little bit. Hey, not like now, boys.
With salt,
Not like now.
What's it saying now?
With salt and thyme.
Now I strip that chicken and that bone is left on the plate. Before you might cut that off with a knife and pick that with your hands.
Come on.
Yeah, yeah.
And
just
do you,
eat that.
do you wash it now?
Of course, come on. There's one thing right now, and I'll challenge you three into this room.
Yeah, go
I'm
on.
back and cook rice better than all three of you.
I doubt that
Jeez.
still.
Oi.
Really?
But to be
We
fair,
got to do it. We got to do
We
it.
do-
No, we can do it.
We got to do
You
it.
might be to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might be.
We got to do it, boys. We got to do it.
Which rice? Just
One
plain
day.
rice or what rice?
Like, yeah, maybe if you have one of your specialities, I have one of my specialities.
But
and we
rice.
can compare rice. Yeah.
But Beggy, you could do a madness with rice and say.
No, we can do it.
cool.
I like this little
Yeah.
challenge here.
That's dope, man. I like that.
I've got another friend of mine that obviously this was a uni friend, but he got with he's a black guy and he married a white girl, and in his culture, similar to mine actually, because we're all East African, they bathe babies in leaves, innit? When the baby's just born, and then they hang it upside down and they might slap it. It's just like a cultural thing to get rid of all the the bad vices and evil spirits and stuff like that. Have you been faced with it? Because I don't know the Angolan culture well.
No.
So, is there any cultures in there that kind of
Yeah, like when you
Boys.
first had your first, yeah.
Because I've been with you, I'll have to. If that was that culture, I have to tell my wife, like, with all due respect, I know it's the culture, but that's gonna happen to my child. I got to step out the room.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Like, I cannot witness that, yeah, because I said there's nothing. That's something that I'm not used to. But in terms of doing that to the baby, that hasn't happened to the baby in Angola. But my wife will get bathed in that. I've seen it like the
Oh,
straw
is it?
and whatnot, being in the bath.
What does that do? Like
It helps her just to cleanse the body after.
Right, after birth.
After birth and whatnot,
Oh,
so I've
so
seen
that's
that.
what
Like,
they do.
that's the type of things when you say about not challenging, but you have to learn to embrace it.
Okay.
When they boil that straw in your house and you walk through the door, like, what the heck is this?
yeah.
It's for a good cause, you know what I mean? Because I've seen my wife go through that twice now. Obviously, got 2 children, things like that. But in terms of that with the baby, in terms of blessings or doing cleansing the baby.
Or not just that. Is there any traditions that at first you were like, whoa, but now you've learnt to embrace?
Oh, mate, probably the one was
Yeah.
when I said, like, my missus said, you got to write a letter to my mum.
Okay.
Like, give her money and that. I said, what?
Or for
I was
like dowry.
I was taken
Dowry.
back in that. Mate, I don't know what it's called. I probably should know it.
Like for getting married.
I do know what it's called.
Yeah.
But there's like in a certain tradition, like say if I was Angolan, like man in Angolan,
Yeah.
like there'll be a list that's given to me. That
Yeah, so it's a dowry. Dowry.
whatever you want to call
that's
it. I
what
think
it
it's called something else.
In their
But
language.
It's probably a dowry, but if you convert it into Portuguese, it sounds a
Something
bit
else.
different. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But then when I was like that, I mean, I'm just a jokey guy as well. I said, so what, babe? I got to buy you, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, if you- I was taken back. I was like, what?
Yeah.
There's a goat cloth. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like.
You must have been like,
Me,
what?
I was
Should I
like-
go down to the butchers?
I was like, yeah. I said, like, how much should a goat cost? You know what I mean? But it's like that was something. But I said, like, I embraced it. Like, obviously, I had to write the letter. Obviously, I'm not too sure who translated the letter to the mum.
We like to
But
whom
then,
it may concern.
all that I know, boys. But all that I know is that I got the thumbs up.
Yeah.
I was able to marry my wife.
So you bought the goat and all them things there?
No.
You didn't buy the goat?
No. I think
Oh.
I think that became like a bit null and void. You know, boys, I got away with one. You know what I mean?
That's a white boy privilege.
That's
though,
a white boy
man.
privilege
Yeah,
there, like, you are right, you know what I mean?
Getting away with that
No,
still.
because obviously even my father-in-law, I said like if I were to speak the language, I reckon that I might have got that sat down.
Yeah.
Like, no, boys, I get that.
Oblige
So
you,
like, you are right.
oblige
Like,
you,
I
yeah,
said to
yeah.
my missus, wow, I'm a bit privileged here. Do you know what I mean? Like, my brother-in-law that's got married now to like, my sister-in-law.
You gotta do that, innit?
Yeah, it was a little bit different. I was like,
Yeah. You got away with a lot.
like, thank God I I'd have to go through with that. Do you know what I mean?
I hear it.
Because obviously I am respectful. I will never disrespect anyone older than me or like
Unless we're
indoors.
playing football.
Yeah, unless we're playing football.
You're so stupid.
Maybe that along those lines. But
Nah,
yeah,
you though.
as I said, but if you do, one more thing, I said I got back to one of the dishes. So I said I'm a foodie. I've tried 99% of the dishes, boys. Yeah. So one time it must have been at a wedding, and you know we got all the safing dishes. You're like, let me try that. It's like, yeah, pull it on. She's like, now I'm gonna go up for seconds. I said, but what's in that one there? I lifted it up, boys. As quick as I lifted it up, I put the lid back down.
What was it?
I just saw chicken feet everywhere.
Oh,
And yeah, see when that day, the way how you're laughing?
Yeah.
I said, babe, how the heck? I understand you got to make the most of every animal that we kill.
By
yeah?
the way,
it's a blessing.
let's
Man
talk
said
about
make the
it.
most of
Put that away. I said, put that away. I said, don't ever offer me that ever again.
Thank you.
Bro,
We don't
what-
talk about it on this podcast.
What are you going to get about chicken foot?
Chicken feet
man
is
eat
not
it.
banging.
Man eat it.
I know about
I don't-
chicken
I
foot
don't
soup,
really
yeah?
hear about it.
Like,
Yeah.
only seeing one chicken foot in a soup, I can take that.
Brother,
Seeing thousands of
I
foot,
can't lie.
I'm like, nah.
I never used to eat their feet like
I
that.
said, boys, take that
yeah,
away from me. I said,
fingernails,
nah.
bro.
Oh,
Fingernails, bro.
I used to
Keep the toenails or something.
Right,
bruh.
brother.
I used to bang
My
them
dad
out.
loves. I told you, my dad used to go. You know the butchers. So you know where they cut all the legs out for from other people's chicken. Yeah, they used to.
Your
just
dad used to
pack
go.
it.
Because what it is,
My
it
dad
has an
used to be
extra
the
layer.
recycling collector.
Yeah, no, the
Oh.
feet has like an extra layer, so which you need
Yeah,
to
bro,
peel that off. Once you peel that off, you're good to go.
I
Season,
hear you,
I
bro.
can't like, they eat it, but
They
bang.
even
Yeah.
eat- They even eat cow feet.
They eat
Yeah.
the head.
I've tried that.
Yeah.
You know the head.
Did
the
you
head
like it?
has to go to the older sibling. You know, the head of the chicken with the.
I've had chicken head
on the
as well
beak.
before. Yeah, I've had chicken head before.
Like, no,
With the red-
like, there's one thing that I do like,
with the
when
red
see
thing.
funge, like,
What's funge?
like, see the funge where, like with the, like, what is it? Like
The man
peanut,
said
peanut
funge.
chicken.
What is that?
Peanut chicken.
Like the funge, the fufu, innit?
Yeah, yeah,
Funge.
yeah.
Call it
Don't
funge.
call it
sorry,
funge.
no,
Like fufu, innit? Like, but there's, like, I've tried both of them.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and you
I
like
don't
peanut
know if one's
soup
like
is
one's
nice, though.
cassava and one's a different.
Oh yeah, the cassava one. I need to try.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
that
like
was
one's
Peanut
yellow
soup
and
is
one's
nice,
white,
though.
yeah. The yellow one, I said I'll never eat that again. But the white one,
That's
like,
full. That's fufu. Yeah,
with the peanut chicken.
Banging.
boys, I think
Do you know how
that's
to cook any?
Nah, not
you-
everything.
and go
Like,
with
so I
it.
said that when a mum comes over and she's beating
Whip
it,
it
in, I'm
up.
like,
You
man,
tried
your mum's skinny, but she's strong, you know.
she's
I'm
skinny.
beating up in the house.
You don't know
Do
this.
you know what
Bro,
I
I'm
mean?
not gonna lie. You sound like you've embraced your
Yeah.
100%.
culture like, a lot. I'm wondering, did everyone in your family like do it automatically as well, or were there any struggles there?
You know
And
what?
even in her family as well.
I think, see my family. I think they like, they've. I wouldn't say clever. That's probably the wrong choice of word to use here, but they didn't really show like that they was either concerned or happy with it. Do you know what I mean? I just felt like they went with the flow. Listen, put it behind closed doors.
There might have been.
That I wouldn't even sit and lie to you, boy. Put it behind closed doors. Oh, like my son's with a. I'm just
With a
insinuating,
black
by the way.
girl.
Just saying,
Yeah.
I like end up with a black woman. Listen, boys, that's a comment that's probably that his inner thoughts or their inner thoughts. You know what I mean? But
But it's never been said to you.
I've never because you know what, boys. I've been hand on my heart. I can never accept that. Like I will never accept that. I remember that I grew up in a multiracial town, in a place where it's youth club. I probably went to school where like whites were the minority.
Yeah.
So like I said, like in a way, and I'm not gonna sound lame again. I just never gone up to see color, you know.
Nah, I hear that.
And I said like it's something that just come natural to me. Do you know what I mean? I said like I'll tell you now, hand on my heart. Did I ever think that I'll end up with an African lady? No, I didn't. Like, would I do it again if I had a choice? Yeah, of course I would.
God willing, you won't need to do it again.
Nah,
but-
I'll never gonna do it again. I'm talking about if I went back in
Yeah, I
time
get what you're saying.
and I still had
Yeah.
the same
Would you
mindset,
have
the
to
same
do the same
perspective,
again? Yeah.
and I've lived this
Okay.
path before. I said, of course I would do it.
So
again.
she wasn't the first black girl you dated?
Yeah, she was. Yeah, I
She
said, but
was?
if I was to do it again,
okay.
obviously I've dated mixed race, but
not-
again.
yeah.
When you say mixed race,
Not
to-
full blown.
like to full blown African, yeah, exactly. Like when you say it, call it full blown. Do you know what I mean?
So you've probably heard of Dr. Umar. Have you heard of Dr. Umar?
No, apologies. I
Oh
No,
yeah,
no,
if
you
you
don't
had,
apologize.
yeah, if you had, boy,
That was something I want to show you. So basically,
What are you
he's
talking
like proper anti-interracial relationships. He
Yeah.
believes
Anti?
Yeah.
Wow.
He believes
Totally
every
against it.
culture,
Activist.
yeah, should just
Stick to their own.
stick to their own. Do you know what I mean? He even goes as far to say that segregation has been very bad for. The abolition of segregation was
Oh, sorry.
bad for black people, rather than a good. And yeah, he just feels like a lot of like Indians, Chinese people, they do it. They marry within each other. No one has an issue.
he
with
has
it.
a reason though as to why he said that, which I would get into, obviously, as long as the conversation gets on. But I want you to finish.
Yes, I was just thinking, what do you say to people like that? People that think that have those kind of views that they don't agree with interracial relationships, white or black, Chinese. Doesn't even matter.
No,
what
but I think
culture.
no, but there's the thing though. Here's the thing. I think it's not totally 100% fair if you just put it that way and put that jacket on Dr. Umar in it. I think yes, is it strongly activist for like he definitely believes that's not obviously what his whole activism is about. It's not just, but he fights a lot for the race of like black people, innit? Like it's very Pan-African, all of that stuff. And obviously his belief is that absolute no to an interracial relationship, right? Especially between black and whites. The reason why he's saying that, I'm not saying I agree with it, but I just want to put a bit more context into it because I feel a lot of people can get a bit better of understanding. his viewpoint where he's coming from is because as a race, as blacks as a race, right now we're at the bottom of the barrel. Everything you look about if you look into the percentage of married black women out there, black women are the lowest, right? And then you look at the fact that our culture, our economy, and everything is down basically, and it's like when you look at most interracial relationship, right? Like I feel like a white man gets a beautiful black woman all day, every day. But the other way around, a black man don't necessarily get a beautiful white woman unless is of a status. Like if it's like a wealthy black man, football player, singer, very famous, yeah, he might have one of the baddest white women out there. But a regular average black guy isn't getting a top tier white woman. So his main thing is that when we lose majority of our black celebrities, our black people of status, to a white woman, where there's so many black women out there that are not married, they can't find a husband, they can't find nobody. Like is that a disadvantage to our culture? So that's his whole general premise and the reasoning behind that, right? So I just wanted to say that. So yeah. So but then what say you to people that just feel like that and that don't agree?
Well, you know what, boys? I've been I feel like I've got people the same as that was his doctor, did you say?
Yeah,
Oh,
Dr.
yeah,
Umar,
Dr.
yeah.
I feel like I've got a lot of people like that around me.
Okay.
And you know what? Like, this is my perspective, by the way, yeah? Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah.
I just see those type of people as being narrow-minded, yeah? And that's what I put it down to. Because they not even give their self the opportunity to embrace or learn another culture, another language. Because you only get a true vibe and a true feel of that person and that culture, yeah? If you behind a closed-door situation, yeah? Out in public, yeah, I believe that all mainstream media platforms and what, it makes your brain slow, yeah?
100%.
And I think, like, listen, that's the way our world's been led to believe. Like, listen, I don't make that man wrong. As I said, listen, like, it's not that they want to be educated. It's not us thinking that we should educate them. They want to be. They have a mindset that I want to be educated. And like I said, I was engaging in a conversation the other day. I won't go into the content of that conversation because that probably will come across a little bit racial. But I'm just saying to myself, like, sometimes it's not about giving up. Do you know what I mean? But that's what I put it down to. I just put that down to those people being narrow-minded. As I said, I grew up a certain way. Maybe that's given me that insight to embrace another culture. Like, I want to surround black people, like people from Asia I was around, people from the Caribbean, people from Africa, like all different types of cultures and religions and faiths and whatnot. Do you know what I mean? So, but I can understand. Like, D makes a really valid point there. Do you know what I mean? Because as you said, unless you're of some sort of status, being a black person, like you are probably right there, because I've seen like many black people with white women, and it don't really seem to be like it's a genuine fit.
Yeah.
They're just probably doing it for the sake of the children that they've had or something for it. Do you know what I mean? Like there's no actual foundation there to flourish and grow from. Do you know what I mean?
So then, I want to switch it a bit then. So obviously, it seems like obviously you are proper on embracing cultures. How do you embrace our struggles then? So obviously you've been with your wife 10 years. We went through the Black Lives Matter movement. How was that situation in your household when that all started happening?
You know what? That one nothing like out of the unordinary, you know? Like the ordinary, should I say. Obviously my daughter's at a certain age where she'll ask questions.
Yeah.
Obviously she asks a lot of questions now, like about race, homophobic and all that type of stuff, yeah? So like they weren't really obviously of course we're gonna have our debates and have our opinions. That's naturally like never gonna go away, gentlemen, is it?
That's what I'm saying.
I said I am white British, she's black African. Like she's obviously gonna have a different opinion to me on certain matters, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what was it? Was it George Floyd?
Yeah,
Like,
George Floyd.
the whole reason why that happened, yeah? Like her argument would be is that if that was a white man, that wouldn't have happened. I said, no, I do make you right.
Yeah.
But one thing that you're overlooking straight away, baby, is that you're not looking, like, you're looking past his background and what that sort of man offered to society. Do you know what I mean? Like that's just a perspective. Not saying that listen, what happened was wrong.
Yeah.
Like completely wrong. Do you know what I mean? But a lot of people that said that are narrow-minded, yeah, their arguments always based on what mate, boys, it is a stereotype, yeah.
Yeah.
Black people, especially in London, are stereotyped for to highest sort of like knife crime, being involved in gangs. But I don't put that down just to one thing. I was having a conversation with my wife in the car yesterday, and I was just saying it's because they've always got to start. I'm not saying that's wrong to use. Apologies.
Yeah.
Black people always got to start 2 steps behind a white person. Do you know what I mean? So I said being with a black person has widened my knowledge and my mindset about that whole situation and other people's different angles of approach. You know what I mean? But in my household, I'll be honest with you, as my only household, there weren't really too much like debates about that. Do you know what I mean? Like
Okay.
I, I stays true and strong to that Black Lives Matters campaign. Do you know what I mean? Because it was always for a good reason.
Yeah.
It's to this for a good reason. Hopefully, like my belief and faith is that one day, and I'll put it into plain context, is that hopefully we can all just get along.
That's what Martin Luther
Right.
King said. I have a dream.
Hopefully, like we can all just get along. Do you know what I mean?
So then obviously the Black Lives Matter thing, so the whole kneeling thing, that debate never came up. You didn't feel like you were just both in agreement of
Look,
you
like my for example, is I'm a diehard Arsenal fan. Yeah?
You are,
but
by the way.
I watch a lot of football.
Yeah.
So when like now, if you notice, only a certain set of games,
Yeah.
they're taking taking a knee.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'll be there clapping.
Yeah.
Say my daughter's like, Daddy, why you clapping for that?
And then you
I said
explained
it's for a good cause.
Mm.
You asked me yesterday about racism.
This is why.
That
yeah.
fights that battle. Yeah.
I respect
I
that.
said like that there would like subconsciously plant a seed in my daughter's head to be like not sub. Then obviously you know what it comes to the forefront of her thinking. Like it should be the forefront of our thinking. Do you know what I mean?
Bruv, you got everything down
No,
pat.
but you know what
No,
it
it's
is
just-
for me though. I just feel like it's almost like unless you're with not talking about you, but I'm not talking about you per se, but I'm talking about unless like with most white people, right? I feel like unless you're with like in a very strong group of like maybe grow up in a multicultural kind of like a background, or you are dating someone that's black or whatever it might be, that's when you tend to have a bit more open-minded about some of our issues. But you talk about white people, like maybe growing up somewhere, maybe what outskirts of London or whatever it might be, where they're not quite privileged to having a lot of multicultural people around them. Why can't, and my thing is just that why can't you just look at people for just people? Because for me, like we were talking about this like before, where I wasn't born here. You know what I mean? I was born in Nigeria, and when I came here, it's never nothing that even back home when we used to run around on the street, wherever as a little boy, you might see white person back home. It was always like, oh wow, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Innit? But even when you come in here, like, oh, they're everywhere, wow. But it's like a finger you look at is like, that is really cool. I don't know if that makes sense. It was never like me looking and be like, oh, I need to be judging, having, oh, a white person's like this or a white person. The point I'm making is that I've always just been innocent as never caring about. Yes, I understand we have color differences and stuff like that, but I never see anything to do with that. He's just different. I'm different. We're all different, but we're all still people at the end of the day. That's how I've always looked at it. But it's just crazy to me how some people just don't. You go out. I mean, a lot of the guys would have some stories going out of ends or going to somewhere where it's predominantly maybe white, and some of the treatments you would get, some of the way you get looked at when you walk into certain shops, or some of the way you get dealt with by certain people, and you're like thinking, because again the narrative has been painted all over me, the news outlet, everything like that. A black man is dangerous. A black man is that. A black man is this. A black man is that. Black people are just loud, aggressive. But when you really look at it, the truth is history. There's never been a history of a black person doing anything to a white person, really and truly, if you think about it. But there is a history of a white person doing something to a black man.
100%.
But it's so crazy to me how, but they're scared of us. Why are you afraid of
You know
us?
what?
We do anything, we hurt each other.
Yeah,
Than-
but this is the problem now. This is the thing, yeah. Like, and obviously this might come across like not all right, not in a mad way, but like in terms of like the African race, yeah, physically, like we're strong. You understand? So that's why I can go to an area that is like, because you got to remember a lot of actions that people are putting out, it comes from a place of fear. You understand?
That's right.
Yeah. So I
Big
can
facts.
go to a place that's predominantly white people, yeah. Like I'm not scared, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying to you? But some of their actions towards me shows me a sign of fear. That's why they act that way. Like they all like, oh, it's the same thing. I saw someone talking about, like, even with like the whole black people and knife crime and whatever. Yeah, he's like, let's put it down. Yeah, a lot of men that are carrying knives and guns and all these stuff, they're only doing that because they're scared.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. Because if I'm not scared, why am I carrying these things in the first place? You're scared because I'm like, I need to have something to protect myself because I don't want to.
You don't want it to happen to you.
So that's the only reason why people are carrying these things, to protect themselves. No one goes out here and says, I want to kill someone
Intentionally, innit?
today.
Yeah, of course.
No, like, you know what the consequences are of that. But obviously, in that situation, people carry those things to protect themselves, and then it ends up going. And he made a comment. He's like, when people like stab someone or whatever, some of them go home and pray that that person doesn't die.
Yeah, I was watching. Who
Do you know
was
what I'm
that?
saying?
I was watching that actually.
They
Yeah,
pray
I can't remember who was that.
person-
Yeah.
And that's the reality. Do you know what I'm saying? Because once all that adrenaline is gone out the system, you're going on me like, shit,
What have I done?
Yeah, no, of course.
Do you know what I'm saying to you? So that's just what I put that.
So
down
you're
to.
thinking is similar.
It
you're
is
saying
the
it's
whole similar thing. It comes from a place of fear, kind of
Fear.
thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, even like the demeanor, the persona of like a black person, like, we always come across like aggressive and like, do you know what I'm saying to you? So it's that, even down to like all the things we're talking about, like a lot of, like you were saying, like the successful black men, they get like the top tier white women or whatever. Like, sometimes as well, it's like when you become successful in a black community, yeah, bruv, it's like your own community will tax you till you're dry. Do you know what I'm saying? So more time when people get to that place, they just, I'd rather just stay away from this kind of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? But if we made more of a environment that's welcoming for people that are successful, like, he's
So
successful.
you're saying
let's-
we celebrate
yeah,
people
but
more.
we don't. We drain that person that's made it. You imagine being the successful person in your family, bro. You see, you know what I'm talking about, bro. Everyone will drain
I
you till
think-
there's nothing to drain.
I get what you
Do you know
mean,
what I'm
but
saying?
I think I don't want not to drag this on too long because we need to
Yeah.
get back on topic. But I think obviously it's just unfortunate. It's an unfortunate thing of where is a natural human instinct where if you put everybody in one environment and you make a very maybe 2-3% of those people have access to everything, but we're all living in the same environment. As a normal, natural human instinct, when you try survival at the end of the day, that's what humans do, try to survive. Naturally, that would happen. You're gonna get everybody trying to take off the number one.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's like that for us because it's almost like it's only 1 or 2 black people at a time. Where then you have the masses are just there looking at these 2
Yeah.
people. But then when you look at the representation of white people on TV, on media and everything, there's a lot of famous in a powerful position. There's a lot of famous white man, white male, white female in all powerful positions. So guess what? If I'm a Caucasian kid growing up, I have that to aspire to. That's the thing. A lot of us, we don't count a lot into representation. Representation, I think, is almost everything. Like, once I see a black boy sees a black president, Obama, oh my goodness, he can do that. Asian boy seeing Rishi Sunak he's a prime minister. Oh, I can do that. That position is attainable. So guess what? I'm going to fight to want to do, so I can get that high. But if I don't see that, every time, everything I see a black man is doing is in handcuffs, in jail, talking about drill and talking about that, then guess what? I'm going to aspire to that. That's the ceiling for us. So I guess I'm just speaking
The problem
speaking
needs
to
to
that.
get resolved by us, then, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah. Sorry, we are literally almost at the end. We've overrun. So I just wanted to touch on real quick.
Yep.
Yeah. I was listening to LBC, a guy called and they were talking about race, and he said he's not racist, but he wants his daughter to marry a white girl. Yeah. Sorry, he wants his daughter to marry a white man. So
Did they put a reason why?
I can't remember the reason, but I just want to know, what do you think about preference? Like, is it racist to have a preference? So obviously, you being a dad now, if you said, I only want my daughter to marry, like, would you see it as, like, is that racist?
Yeah,
Why?
because that is being racist because like everyone's entitled to make their own choices. Yeah, like why should obviously listen? It's about being respectful to obviously to her parent. But end of the day is that if she grows up to love and embrace a different type of culture, whether that be an Asian, an African.
Doesn't matter what
Yeah,
it is,
it honestly don't really matter in that. Like, listen, that for me personally, that is a racial comment because like you ain't not even giving people the benefit of the doubt, but like you're just narrowing down like what you see is right or wrong for her, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like she's got to live and grow by her own mistakes and her own choices. Like I personally find that racial.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree. Because it's almost like you've closed off all other options. Like you're so narrow-minded that this is what I want. Like, why is that? Why are you shutting off everything else? Why? So just be open-minded and let people make their own choice.
That comes from a racial point of view.
Nah, I class it as preference. It's just
Go on,
what you want.
break it down.
You know what I'm saying? To you? Because like growing up, like not in a, I was always told to get with Africans. Do you know what I'm saying to you?
Why
Like,
is that though?
Because it's like, it's just easier. You know what I'm saying to you? You get with your own, it's just easier to navigate kind of thing rather than trying to embrace something else kind of thing, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? So I think it's preference. Racist to me is if you're going out your way to say like, I'm going out my way to actually go and say hurtful stuff.
Yeah, but you're going out of your way to stay away from other race.
No, it's
Yeah,
not going,
that's true.
no, it's not going out your way. But what I'm saying to you, I don't really class that like people are allowed to have preference.
Wait. So you know the
Do you know-
daughter.
do you
Okay,
get my
if we
point?
leave the
Yeah,
daughter
allowed to.
thing, then what about if you had said it? I only date white women. Is that racist?
Yeah.
You still think it's racist?
No,
to have a
because, like,
preference.
That's completely different. He's made it about race. Like he's not made it about from like what my preference is. He's made it about a race, hasn't he?
So what's a
Like,
preference?
I only want you dating a white person. It's like what sort of characteristics do you look for in a person? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that
because
is-
everyone got
that
the same
is.
characteristics. Like race splits you to a different race splits you down to being black or white. Yeah,
Yeah.
a characteristic doesn't. Like you could be bubbly, I could be shy. Like, but it's the characteristics you can relate to
Yeah,
characteristics.
do you get it?
No,
Like,
I
in
get what
different
you're
types of
saying.
people.
Yeah, so they,
I
yo,
get what
yeah,
you're
they're
saying, but what I'm
definitely,
saying to
yeah,
you, no,
yeah,
100%.
100%.
But I don't think someone saying this is what I like.
But you're choosing a
put it
color.
So you're saying
Yeah, but-
no one should have a preference based on color, basically.
Yeah,
It
100%.
should always be based on individual.
Yeah, because look, you know what? Like on that platform that you said this guy was on LBC.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, I told you earlier on. That's a media platform.
Yeah.
He's got to choose his words carefully.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying to you.
I bet if he was a fly on the wall and you heard him having a conversation on the phone to I don't know his mum or his dad or his brother, it'll be completely different content.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
I want to hear what Sukali has to say. I feel like your point differs on this. I
No,
can
my
see
point
the
doesn't
way-
differ. I
Go on.
feel like, personally for me, I feel like people should be allowed to have preferences.
Yeah.
Even if those
Well, let him
preferences
explain.
are down to race. Like, I don't, as long as you're not bashing every other race,
Exactly.
I wouldn't deem it as racist for someone to say, oh, I like white girls that are blonde. Do you know what I mean? That's my type. I don't know. I feel like it only comes a problem for me if you indoctrinate your children. So let's say I was saying I only like black women, and now I'm gonna tell my child you can only be with a black. I feel like that's gonna be an issue.
Can I say
Yes.
something? This man on LBC called and said, I only want my
Yeah.
daughter to marry a white man. Yeah? That is racist because that's his daughter. Remember the question when you flipped it?
No, I
If
agree.
it's him himself saying he prefers to have that's
Yeah.
different. But if you say, I want my daughter, guess what that means? The point you just made now. That means he's in control of how he's going to be raising his daughter.
That's what I mean,
God
he's
only knows what's
indoctrinated.
happening behind closed doors, how
I
he's
agree
raising
with
his
that.
daughter. So that's why I think that comment there is a bit racist. That's why.
Yeah. And you're probably right in the sense of what I'm saying. When you go publicly and you start putting stuff out,
Yeah,
like that,
and you start
Yeah,
degrading.
then
yeah.
But people are allowed to have their preference.
People
If
will
I'm being
do it.
honest, yeah.
People do. What do you mean? I
Even
can't
like some
control
people
what
tell you, like, I
he
only
goes
like-
to
I
do.
like women with big breasts, or I like big bum, or I like tall. I like.
Because
It's do you know what I'm saying?
Why you breast selecting?
'Cause even
for
me,
women
yeah.
with
breast
small breasts?
selecting, but
Why
I'm
you breast
saying-
selecting for?
Yeah.
I'm just saying people have like.
I'll be there
preferences.
watching Love Island, and they'll say my type is tall, dark, and handsome.
Yeah, tall, dark, and handsome.
And on God, I thought that meant black.
We all did.
Tall,
We all
do you know
did. No,
what
it don't mean that.
Then we found out that it actually
It just means a
it
tan-
means
a
a
tan-
white guy
Dark hair
that's
with dark
tanned
hair, yeah,
with dark
yeah,
hair,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
never
yeah.
knew that. But that is a type, and that type is always white, right? So
Yeah.
that I wouldn't deem that as racist.
It's always white though. I've heard the black girls say I like tall, dark, and handsome as well.
That's black girls saying that. So
Say
that
the
means
black girl says it.
that means they like black guys that are tall. Dark.
Also,
If a white
it's
girl-
okay, cool. So if a black girl says it, that means it's black guy.
Yeah, and if a white girl says it,
It means
that.
that. Oh wow, I did not know this.
Everyone's
know
given
this.
that. Everyone's given that its different meaning, hasn't it?
By the way,
That's crazy.
It's subjective.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I guess
subjective,
it's down to you to just grow
Decide.
up and then decide.
Uzi, you're racist,
Look,
man.
yeah, before we, because now we've actually gone over
Racist,
time, but I want to hear that iPhone comment. You were gonna, when we were
Oh
talking
yeah.
before,
So
I
you know
wanna-
what you see when people say about the challenges about biracial relationship, interracial relationship. So on our honeymoon, yeah, like you know before back then, what was it? That must have been about 6 years ago. The iPhone didn't have the front-facing flash, yeah.
Yeah.
It never used to
Oh,
have it,
yeah,
innit?
yeah, yeah,
Like that feature,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So we're in the Caribbean now. So like other daytime, like that light in my face now, yeah, with my blonde hair, trying to get pictures of my wife.
Prince Charming.
Bang, I disappear. Night time, bang, she disappeared. Babe, we only take pictures now on dawn. Or when it's overcast, baby, yeah? Because we got to try and get a decent picture. I was like, hey, boys.
You suffered.
We
That
suffered,
is
babe.
a funny
Sitting on my
one.
phone thinking, I've disappeared in the sunshine. In the dark time, we took one. I said, I see your teeth, babe. I said, no more pictures like this in the daytime. No more
You had to
pictures.
pick your,
man.
but at
The
sunset,
time, the moment. I said, listen, babe, when the clouds are out, we go for pictures, yeah?
quick time.
And obviously, like other people, like
That is
they
funny.
now they'll send us memes, yeah, and reels.
Yeah.
The other day it was when you got the white person in a relationship observing an African conversation.
Yeah.
Because you know, first year, like when I was first there, I was thinking, babe, is everything all right?
Yeah.
They shouted and I
'Cause
was
it-
I'm like, babe, like what's the matter? Is your
Is
mum all right?
everything
Your mum all right?
Is it on site?
No, babe. We were just debating about the cloth for the wedding dress. What?
And you're like,
that only?
yeah.
Now I'm just like, oh mate. So I
Listen,
said,
Boofy,
So
we're
imagine
very
how you're gonna be
passionate.
on a proper
We're very
argument.
passionate,
How am I
okay.
ever gonna know the difference?
Don't you
Bro.
see us at football, bruv? We're
Yeah,
very
no, I get
passionate.
that, but I
We're
get
very
that. I was
passionate.
thinking to myself, babe, like now I'm just like, oh yeah, that's probably a debate about when we're gonna fly to Brazil or something.
something like
I
that.
get it now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
By
mean?
the
I was
time
like,
it was
wow.
like-
So like I said, boy, it just took a long time.
But you're
I was
getting
like,
there.
yeah, like, no, I would say that I'm near enough there.
Yeah.
Was
Like-
there any others real
That's
quick?
good.
Any other funny moments that you've had that are based on race?
Oh yeah, one more, boys. Yeah, so
Yeah, God.
this one's a good one. Yeah, so the first time, no, it probably wasn't the first time. I must have been to my in-laws a few times before.
Yeah.
But I think that there must have been a niece or the nephew was around.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I want to go to the toilet. Where's
Yeah.
it? Upstairs. Took my shoes off, walked up the stairs. He's walked up the door. All I heard him say, there's a white man in the house, a white man in the house. And it was just, and the way he runs down the stairs, I was like, I couldn't stop laughing. I come downstairs, I said, who's that little boy upstairs? Hey, someone go and check on him because I think he's scared, you know. I thought he about to get abducted or something.
Man
but-
feels Home Alone or
Oh,
something.
boys, if you saw his face in that, yeah, trust me, even the power was a ghost.
Gosh.
There's a white man in the house, a white man in the house. I couldn't start laughing, boys. But that's the sort of thing, like, the other way around, mate, it'll probably be a bit different, innit? Do you know what I mean? But
That's
yeah, man, I just
crazy.
embraced it, laughed it off. But
No, I
there's
like that,
been many
man.
of those things there like that, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that have
Just-
happened,
Just
yeah.
gotta laugh it off. I said, babe, what's the matter with you?
What's
Well, you
going
never
on
seen a
with
white
the
man
family?
before, babe, you know what I mean?
Jesus. Yeah,
He-
seen
he-
it
he-
outside, but just not in his house.
He probably thought he saw death at his front, like, at his face, you know what I mean?
Jeez.
Bless him, but boy, it's just been a privilege, you know.
Nah,
Like, I
thank
just
you
want
for
to say
coming
before I
on,
go,
man.
I hope this platform takes you guys to the highest of heights.
Amen.
love
God,
for
God,
that, bro.
God bless you for your appreciate coming on.
The fact that you said it now, a white man has said it, so guess what? You already know what going
You know what I mean?
So
Nah.
he stamped it.
Nah, Booth, really appreciate you coming on.
It's been a pleasure, man. It's been a pleasure.
Guys, as always, subscribe, share, like, all of that. We appreciate all the support that we've been getting. It's been
In
brilliant.
case, what, is it open for questioning?
No.
it's not-
You don't need. You've seen him here, and this is the last time you'll see him.
We don't want them bombarding your
But
socials.
yeah,
so
man,
let's
make sure
do
you
that.
comment, share, like. Been your boys. Peace.
Nice
Peace.
one.
Yes, it's your boy DT, and this is the IMO podcast. We are here live at the London Podcast Studio. Use code IMO20 to get 20% off. Peace.
Shout out Amaka, Andrea, and Obi. They're steady working, so we ballin' like Kobe.